Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai Basham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all you Sinsiakian. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushai Basham Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due, especially in the times that we're in. And without further ado, I'm just going to play this video from the Elder Malcolm.
Everybody's going to benefit from it. War is it's a money-making business. Killing is a money-making business. Wow. Very much so.
It is a red horse, baby. That's going to be the title of this video. And yeah, I got a little excited about that. But yeah, that's going to be the title of this video. It is the red horse. It is a red horse, okay? And you heard it clearly from this Jake right here, where he told you that, look, war is a money-making business, right? Death, killing is a money-making business. And that's why the scriptures say that the blessing of the red horse, which of course, as we know, is Esau Edom, is the sword. All right. And a component of that blessing is the power to kill. So let's get this precept real quick. So this is the book of Revelation chapter 6, and I'll start from verse 3. Okay, so yeah, Revelation 6 verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And that's the reason why you have so many wars on the earth right now. Why are there wars on the earth? Why are there conflicts on the earth? Why is there so much death and violence all over the earth? If it's not a war between two nations, it's a civil war. If it's not a civil war, right, it's armed militias, okay? It is mujahideen. It is terrorist groups invading different places, the sedition among them once again, right? Why is there so much violence on the earth? Why? Because Esau Edom is because the red horse has been unleashed on the earth, and that red horse, of course, is referred to, or rather is Esau Edom, the so-called red man. And this is the power that was given to Esau Edom, right? The blessing of the sword. And even this, the judge said right here, and he brought out another component, right? And that's the reason I'm doing this video, because that's a new component that I didn't even really think about. The amount of money that Esau Edom makes from bloodshed. Now let's make one thing clear, okay? It's not that there is so much money in violence and war and bloodshed. No, it is that Esau Edom is using that is monetizing that violence and war and bloodshed. And how does he do that? By these so-called military contractors, okay? Your Raytheons, your Lockheed Martins, Boeing, and I recently learnt another one, Halliburton. Yes, that's these different companies that are set up by, of course, the elites of Esau Edom, and all that they do is basically sell weapons to sell weapons, right? By the way of contracts. Let's get this. Let's start from the most popular one, Raytheon, right? Raytheon is an American defense and aerospace company that is now in a business unit of the RTX Corporation. It is a major US defense contractor that develops and manufactures a wide range of products including missiles, radars, sensors, and command and control systems for military and commercial applications, right? And that's where the money comes in, okay? The money for the wars comes in the first and foremost the weapons that are being sold to the various military industrial complexes on the earth, especially the US military industrial complex, right? Whenever you hear that the US is sending aid to Israel, or the US is sending aid to Ukraine or Taiwan, this is mainly what aid is being sent, okay? Military aid in the form of defense budgets to these military contractors like Raytheon. All right, so let's also get Lockheed Martin. Basically, when you hear Israel is getting all these billions of dollars, right? It's basically the US, paying Raytheon and paying Lockheed Martin to ship some of their missiles and their aerospace weapons like the fighter jets to the state of Israel for them to use to continue their bombing and genocide campaigns. Now, Lockheed Martin, all right. So Lockheed Martin is an American global defense and aerospace company. And now, okay, it should already be abundantly clear to you once again that when Esau Edom says defense, what he means is war. Okay, so let's get this real quick. Right? Pete Hegseth. So this is Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, United States Secretary of what? Of war, right? Because in these last days, right, the wicked is being revealed. The horns are being uncovered, and now the pretense and the pretense that Esau Edom was, using before, he is slowly, unveiling and slowly discarding that, right? So now it goes from Secretary of Defense to Secretary of War. So now we go back to here. So when Lockheed Martin and Raytheon say that they are dealing in global defense, they are dealing in global war. Okay, that is what they are really dealing in, right? When they say defense, they're not talking about actual defense. They are talking about straight up war. So Lockheed Martin is an American global defense and aerospace company that designs, manufactures, and supports advanced technology for air, land, sea, space, and cyber. It was formed by the 1995 merger of the Lockheed Corporation and Martin Marietta. And the funny thing is that you see that a lot of these companies are owned by possibly even bigger groups. So let's get this. The company's main customers are the U.S. Department of Defense and other U.S. agencies. So the U.S. Department of War, right? Because let's go back to that. Right? Pete Hegseth, United States Secretary of War. So the U.S. Department of War, and all these deceptions, right? All these secrets are being uncovered in these last days. Okay, so let's continue reading. The company's main customers are the U.S. Department of Defense and other U.S. government agencies, but it also has international and commercial sales. This and it now goes on to speak on a video, right? So I believe that if you go into it, you'll find out that this company is also owned by a specific group of people. But I don't want to go in that deep, right? Because you never know what the YouTube might do if you go into that deep. And I believe that when we went into Raytheon was owned by, I think it was RTX or so, right? And if you go and look at these groups and these companies, and look at who is heading them up, right, you will see, of course, it's usual suspects, right? Esau Edom, the so-called red man, and most likely as well, you'll also see, the heart people, right? The hatters, the mad hatters. Let me just see it like that, okay? The mad hatters. I know what I'm talking about. Right, so now this is it. It's right. So let's go back to the video because I didn't really give the background of that video too much, right? So this is a video that was done by the Elder Malcolmer, all right? And basically in this video is going into a interview by DJ from DJ Vlad and this US sniper, okay? So he was talking about war and how eventually you will have your civil war break out in the US, or basically have a civil war break out in the US, and that's what a lot of people are waiting for, because even the people that are in the world, they are tired of this place, man, and they're just looking for anything to happen, right? And innately they know that the only way out of this kingdom is scorched earth, right? The destruction of this kingdom is the only way to be delivered out of it. All right, so yeah, and that's where we now get to the point in the video where he basically said what he said, right? War makes money, right? So like I was saying, there is money in war, and like he said as well, right? It makes these devils very rich. But yeah, this is still their blessing anyways. Let me get another quick precept, right? Let's get another quick precept, okay? The same way you had money in the captivity of our people, so basically the slavery of our people, the same way you also have money in the war and the death that Esau Edom has spread all throughout the whole earth. So this is the book of Revelation 13, and I'll start from verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And that is just basically a brief reminder to the end of you devils, right? To the fate of Esau Edom. Alright, so you devils that have enriched yourself through death and bloodshed and the war that you have spread on the earth. And that reminds you of this song, I believe it was Bob Dylan, right? And the Masters of War, you know. That reminds me of that song. That's basically what Esau Edom is, man, the master of war. And they are using that war, right? They're using their blessing, right? Even, you know, they are using their blessing to enrich themselves. And what this shows you is that, right, what the scriptures say of Esau Edom at the end of the day is the truth, right? Aside from these devils being the devil, also the fact that, as the scriptures say, they did not fear blood, right? As it's written, "See, thou hast not feared blood, even blood shall pursue thee." Okay, and that's basically how these devils operate. They did not have any fear in shedding blood and spreading death and violence all over the earth, man. And the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to come on you devils as well with that same death and violence, with the measure that you have met, right? The measure that you have spread all throughout the whole earth. That measure will come back upon you, okay? And that's what's about to happen. That's what's about to come upon you, devils, man. Devils, man. That's what's about to happen upon you, devils, right? So just wanted to go into this real quick. So yeah, let me end this right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai Ba'asham Rakakwadash Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of Yakiam and Joakwas were edified. And right before I go, I also want to correct something I said earlier in the video. I said, you know, basically when the let's go back to that video, right?
Yes.
This Jake right here, right, the Marine that was, or the sniper that was doing an interview with DJ Vlad, right, when he said that, you know, everybody's waiting for the civil war, everybody's waiting for the collapse. I said that, you know, basically people innately in their spirit understand that the deliverance can only come at the destruction, that the people can only be delivered through destruction, right? But that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say is that the deliverance can only come after the destruction, right? So the people of this world, in their heart of hearts, they know that there is a destruction that is going to come before the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Of course, they don't have that full understanding, right, according to knowledge, but they know that there is a destruction that is coming, and that this kingdom needs to be destroyed. This kingdom needs to go down, right, before a righteous kingdom can be established, and before a new kingdom can be established, okay? And that's why these Edomites out here are crying and praying for a collapse. And even that collapse in and of itself is a stumbling, it is a snare. Because you devils actually believe that, you know, during time of that collapse, you'll be able to go across the earth, you know, pulling these, like the Raid and Mad Max, that you have to go in and just looting and killing and raping and robbing to your heart's content, right? What you don't realize is that, you know, the collapse and the destruction is coming, right? That once the collapse and the destruction of this kingdom comes, our Lord Yahushai is going to return as well, and it's going to bring the full destruction and collapse upon this kingdom. So once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Ba'asham Rakakwadash Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of Yakiam and Joakwas were edified. Shalom.